Welcome back to my channel for one of my favorite subjects, generators. Generators, I'm a generator. A lot of the world is generators. I mean, between generators and manifesting generators, it's 70% of the population. So that's most of us. So I love talking about generators. And today we're going to talk about when generators and manifesting generators get to initiate. Okay, let's get started. Many times when people first learn they're generators, and I was among them, they get confused, upset. It's like, what do you mean? I'm not supposed to initiate. I'm supposed to wait to respond. And so there's two pieces to that. It's kind of like respond. Okay, what does that mean? And then wait to respond. What does that mean? Let me clarify from my life experience, which is that it's not so much about waiting, except for bigger things in life, usually. It's more about learning to understand how we have this beautiful relationship with the creative intelligence of the universe, and we get to dance through response rather than just moving forward with initiation. Now, let me say, this is something that most of us were taught to do. I know I was taught to do it. I did it for many years, and I accomplished a lot. I mean, I did, and I bet you have too if you've been initiating. But it comes at a big personal cost. It comes at the cost of burnout a lot of times because we're not really designed to work that way. But we do have a lot of sacral energy, so we do have a lot of power, a lot of fuel to kind of keep going even when we're off our charts. But eventually, it will catch up with you. It's caught up with me multiple times in my life. And it was when I burned out the last time that I went, maybe there's something to this respond thing. I should go and take another look at it. And I practiced a lot with responding initially. I was just like, I am not going to initiate anything. And let me see what happens. What I discovered was I had a lot to respond to. But it wasn't until I had this mindset shift that I was able to even perceive what it was there to respond to. But I also want you to know that it's not that you can never initiate, okay? The main thing is that, especially for bigger things in your life, you want to enter into a situation through response. Because you get a response from things that are in your outer reality. Something shows up, you get an email, you watch a video, you take a training, you have a conversation. Something comes up and you're like, I want to respond to that. Okay. And then you get to tap into your sacral authority, your gut response. It goes, For me, it's a full body, or a, No, that's also a response, right? Your authority, your sacral authority is also a response. So it's both looking at what's in your outer reality that you're getting to respond to, but it's also the response that's happening through your body, through this beautiful temple that you have to live in, through your energy field that you get to go, And the two really work together. And this is one of the things that I think differentiates generators and manifesting generators, which is that our strategy and our authority are completely intertwined. And this is why I say to you, if you have emotional authority, you still want to learn how to use your sacral response, because the sacral response is responsive, right? The sacral authority is responsive, and you want to be able to utilize that because it's like your best friend. It will protect you from making decisions that are not the right ones for you, the ones that will burn you out, the ones where you're going to lose energy, and then you're going to have to use your willpower to keep going and to finish, even though you don't really want to anymore. Many times when people first learn that they are designed to respond and to wait to respond, they think that they have to sit around and kind of wait for something to come, I don't know, drop out of the sky, maybe somebody to call them, something like that. It's not really like that. You don't have to wait and sit around and do nothing. You don't have to be passive. Now, I have a couple of videos in this playlist right here that's all about generators and manifesting generators and how we get to do this dance. And today, especially, I want to really focus on when do we get to initiate. But there's a lot of different pieces to it. So I highly encourage you to go and look at those other ones if you haven't already. I want to underscore that responding, like initiating, is another way of co-creating. It's co-creating with spirit for sure. And it's a beautiful thing. It actually is a huge relief because it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to do this all on my own? You mean I don't have to be, the sole, energy behind this? You mean I actually have the hands of spirit on my back supporting me? And that's actually one of the things that response can give you. I think it's challenging for those of us who maybe feel more disconnected from spirit. We don't have that kind of faith. We don't have that kind of connection, which is why in many of my videos, I also offer different spiritual practices and energy practices you can do to really get connected. You can go and check out some of these here in this playlist to find them, because it takes a certain amount of surrender to go into that dance with spirit and not feel that, if it's to be, it's up to me, nothing will ever happen if I don't make it happen. Now, I lived in that reality for decades. Okay, so I completely get it if you're there. And I just want you to know that when you can let that go and you can be like, I'm not really completely in charge here. Yes, I am a choice. Yes, I do get to make decisions for myself, but I'm supported by something bigger than I am. It's really such a huge relief. I want to underscore that it's not that you have to respond to every single thing that happens for you all day long. Like, you don't necessarily have to respond to what it is you're going to have for dinner, or what movie you're going to go see, or should I call my friend tonight, or like go to this party or whatever. You can practice that. But my experience is that, especially with more mundane things like that, sometimes the sacral might be like, it's like, should I have this for dinner or should I have this for dinner? And it's like, because it's all good, right? Any of it could be fine. It's more about when you're making a decision that has some teeth in it, right? There's going to be some consequence for you. Now, if you're thinking of like, I'm going to eat this pizza, which for me is kind of like poison. So am I going to eat this pizza, right? Or am I going to have this lamb chop with greens, which is what my body really wants, right? Then my sacral might be like, But if it's between two things that are kind of, fine for you, then you may or may not get a strong response. Okay? So you don't have to do that all day long. It's really about the more important things, and especially something you're going to dive into for a longer period of time. Now, here's the cool thing to understand is once you dive in through response, once you get the then you can initiate. That's when you can initiate, is after you enter into it through getting the okay from your inner being, which is what your sacral response is. Your sacral response, okay, your sacral authority is your interface with that part of you that has a bigger perspective, okay, your inner being, your soul self. And it's connected to the larger creative intelligence of the universe. It's the great spirit, God, whatever you want to call it. Okay. So that's where you're getting guidance from, and it's coming to you through that or I mean, it's such a huge blessing for us who are generators to actually have that kind of inner guidance that is so clear to us once you get it. But once you get it, you can dive in and initiate. I'm going to come back to that in a minute with a couple of examples. But let me just say that this whole piece about response is, from my point of view, is being in the world with other people, being in the world with other stimuli, recognizing that you're not just this individual autonomous being that's moving through, the space completely on your own. You're actually in a dynamic relationship with all of the people in your life, many different life forms, many different situations, and it's very dynamic, and it's actually larger than we really have perspective on, right? And it's only when we kind of collapse our perspective into, it's just me and I'm out for me and I got to make sure I'm okay, or maybe my kid or my partner or something like that. But it's when we collapse everything into this really small view that we think that we are this autonomous being that has to figure everything out ourselves and make everything happen. It's actually not really how reality works. This is something that I have learned. So for me as an entrepreneur, I've had my own business for over 25 years now. And it's really important for me to be in a dynamic relationship with my people. Now, who my people are have changed over the years as I have grown and developed and changed the focus of my business, and that's totally fine. But I'm here to provide service, right? I'm here to provide service, and I'm a teacher. And so for me, I want to know, what do my people want to have me teach about? Right? And so for me, I'm always in this relationship where I'm paying attention to what is it my people are saying that they want or need. And by the way, put in the comments what you want or need, and I may just make a video about that. I'm always doing that because I want to hear about my people's challenges, their desires. I do use my intuition to guide me about what I feel is the right thing to be addressing at this time. And I check with my sacral. And so I have a lot of different faculties I can tap into. But I'm always looking at, like, for example, I read my YouTube comments all the time. I'm not actually up on responding to them right now, but I do read all of them. And I'm like, what's going on with people right now? What is it that they really need? This is actually the reason I created this video, is that I heard about this from people in my program, from people I do readings for, from the comments that I get. And so I'm responding to what my people are saying that they want and that they feel challenged by. And I'm like, can I provide service in that area? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do that. So let me give you a couple of examples. So one of them is from my own life, right? So I have a YouTube channel, right? You're watching it right now. So in creating my YouTube channel, I had one for a few years, but nothing was really happening. The person who was in charge of it really wasn't doing anything, and I wasn't paying any attention, so it was flat. Nothing was happening. And I'd been experimenting with other social media, and I didn't love it. I wasn't getting traction. It just wasn't suiting me. And I thought, okay, well, what else could I do? And like I said, I like to teach. I like to talk. So I thought, maybe YouTube will be a good fit for me. I had been teaching in a Facebook group that I had, my Sovereignty by Design Facebook group, but it was kind of flat. There just wasn't like a lot of dynamic energy there. So I did some research, and I knew that people were looking for human design on YouTube. And so I responded to that research. I responded to the knowledge, checked in with my sacral, and my sacral was like, teaching about human design, putting it on YouTube. And then I started initiating making videos. So first I responded to my own inner frustration, and then I responded to the research, okay? And I was like, okay, well, it's worth a try. And then I also checked in with my sacral, and I tuned into my sacral response. So I paid attention for a few months, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm getting the amount of traction that I could. So I did some more research. Now, this is one of the things you can always do. You don't have to wait to respond to do research, okay? I mean, if you're going to invest $1,000 in a training or something, then you want to do that through response. You want to check with your sacral. But I was just doing research on YouTube. I was checking out, what do people say about how you optimize your YouTube channel and stuff like that. And I realized, that I needed to give YouTube more information about what my videos were about so that they could share them with the right people. I hadn't really been doing that, and I didn't realize that. So I responded to that information that I got, and then I up-leveled the SEO for my channel, and I just put some basic information in there because YouTube it can't read video, it can read transcript, and it can read your description. So I just started giving it more information. And I also responded to a training that I did on YouTube that said, hey, the more you post, the better it's going to go. So I started doing 2 videos a week. That was 18 months ago. And you know what? My channel has been growing and growing and growing since then. I choose topics based on what I hear from clients, and from coaching and from readings that I do. And then I respond to what I hear from them. I respond to the comments on my videos. I respond to the analytics that show me what my audience is interested in. I respond to all of these different things. I respond to kind of what I see happening out there in the world. And I do respond also to my own inner guidance because I have a lot of the knowing circuit, so I get a lot of knowing that comes through. I respond to all of these things. And then I initiate by choosing a topic that I personally want to address because I don't want to just do stuff that I think is maybe will fly, with other people, but that I'm not interested in. I don't do that because I want to feel like I'm fully invested, right? So I choose topics that I want to address, things I want to teach about, and that you want to hear about, right? It's a beautiful win-win. And I know that the flow of life is operating through all of this, right? It's helping to direct me what to pay attention to. It's helping you to express yourself. It's helping me to then go, what am I going to initiate, right? All of that is working here. So let's tune in for you for a minute. So let's say that you want to create work that's meaningful and satisfying for you. All generators and manifesting generators need to do that, right? I have other videos about that. If you haven't seen them already, go and check them out. So you want to do work that's really satisfying for you, but you're not quite sure what to do. And you kind of look at things with your logical mind and you're like, I don't know about that, right? So let's say that you start to explore areas of life that you're interested in. Say you love doing yoga. I love doing yoga. Let's say you love doing yoga. So you explore doing more of that. It's not a big investment financially, right? You can go onto glow.com and have thousands of videos of, yoga classes and meditation classes for $24 a month. Okay, so it's not a big investment of, financially. And so you do more of that with the intention that it will lead you to the next step. You don't even know what the next step is, right? You're just responding to this inner desire. It's like, I wonder what my next step is going to be. I don't know. Yoga feels good. I like doing yoga. I haven't been doing it lately. I'm going to go and do that. So let's say you're in a class. Now we have in-person classes. You go to a class and the teacher mentions to you that she's doing a weekend retreat. And your sacral's like a yes, that you should go. You're responding. So then you decide to go. Then when you're there, you meet someone who's also into yoga, right? And is also engaged in a new endeavor in ecotourism. And they're looking for people to help them with that. And your sacral is a So then you have a Zoom session with them and you love what they're doing. You're like, I can't believe how great this company is that they're creating. I feel completely aligned with what they're doing. And the next thing you know, you're initiating a new project inside of their company because you used to live in Costa Rica and you know people there who are already leading trips. And boom, you're in a new place with something that you love to do. You didn't decide to do it. You didn't figure it out. It wasn't logical. It wasn't reasonable. It wasn't even on your radar. But as soon as you started allowing this dynamic flow of life to lead you, there it was, right in front of you. And then it felt really right. And now that you've responded to someone telling you about their opportunity and their company that they're building, you can initiate creating a new location in Costa Rica, making use of your contacts, and you're bringing value to the company for which you are very well rewarded. And the next thing you know, you're like, I never thought to go and work with an ecotourism company, but I love Costa Rica and I love what this company is doing. Wow, who knew, right? So the key is following the breadcrumbs that are leading you to a place you didn't know you were going. But as it unfolds, you feel divinely guided. And when you get there, having entered in via response of many kinds in this situation, right? You responded to yoga, you responded to going to a yoga class, you responded to the person who was there who said, hey, I'm doing this thing. You responded by getting on the Zoom, you listened to the person there, right? You responded to all kinds of different things and you're entering in through response. And your sacral all along the way is guiding you and is going, Then you get to initiate creating something you've dreamed about maybe. Maybe you've dreamed about wanting to spend more time in nature. Maybe you wanted to spend less time on the computer. I talk to lots of people who feel this way. Maybe you've always wanted to travel more. Maybe you wanted to be able to spend more time in Costa Rica, right? Maybe there are things that you never really allowed yourself to contemplate or to explore because it didn't make sense and you didn't know how to do it. Okay? So you didn't ever, pursue it. But there it is right in front of you because you lived in your life through the response. Okay, let me know in the comments below about situations maybe in which you've started through response and then you were able to initiate, if you are aware of some of those. And if not, if you're feeling challenged still about responding and initiate, then tell me about that, okay? Because then I get to respond to you and maybe I'll create a new video about that. All right, generator, manifesting generator, I say unleash thyself, go out, respond, initiate once you've entered into things through response and develop a really satisfying, joyful life. Many blessings, much love.